Hi, good morning. This is Robert Marr from the Law Office of Robert J. Marr, PC. Talked a little bit about why people are denied for tourist visas in a prior video. So this one, something that I see a lot, although I haven't seen it for the past 2 years so much because the borders have been closed. But that is, sometimes when people come to visit the US, they get into some kind of trouble. Shoplifting at local department stores, using illegal drugs or illicit drugs and getting arrested for that, getting into fights or illegal activities. So, usually they get into trouble involving drinking. A lot of times the alcohol or whatever drugs they're using lead them to do other things that get them into further trouble. So what can I do if I get into trouble? What you should know that is what you would think of as minor infractions can have an immigration impact. Sometimes what happens is if somebody's arrested for certain crimes or infractions, somehow our consulates in the home country figure it out and they cancel the visa. That means, once you go home, you're going to have to go to your embassy and the U.S. embassy in your country and ask for a visa again. Normally, the U.S. gives visitor visas for 10 years, and then each time you come to the border, the Customs and Border Patrol lets you in for a certain amount of time, usually 6 months. So sometimes people's visas get canceled, or if they get arrested and charged with certain crimes, then if the crime is serious enough, they can be deemed inadmissible. And what that means is that the crime they committed or the crime they're convicted of rises to the level of seriousness such that U.S. immigration law says this person is not admissible to the United States anymore. If people do run into those kinds of issues, relating to the criminal justice system, it's important to hire an experienced criminal defense attorney as well as an immigration attorney, because criminal law has a serious impact on immigration law and on people's immigration status. U.S. immigration law is very complicated, and what makes somebody inadmissible or potentially deportable varies. With visitors, deportation isn't such a concern because usually a visitor a lot of times will leave the country and their criminal defense attorney will take care of, to the extent that a person doesn't necessarily have to be in court every time the lawyer is there. So the criminal defense attorney can resolve the case, but how it's resolved may have immigration impact. And that's why it's important, one, to mind your P's and Q's when you're visiting, and then second, if you do get in trouble, make sure you get experienced immigration and criminal defense attorney to advise you. So just in case, my number is 212-939-7548 and my email is rmarr@robertmarrlaw.com. Because remember, sometimes people are arrested even if they haven't committed a crime. Sometimes people get charged for crimes that they haven't committed. The natural reaction of people is to want to try to resolve things or not to have to deal with such an uncomfortable situation, and they'll agree to things that they later regret and that may have immigration consequences. So just keep that in mind.